Hi everyone, I'm Miss Paws, and you are watching Figures of Speech. This is part 4, our last part of our video series, so make sure to check out part 1, 2, and 3 if you haven't already. Our first figure of speech is going to be pun. Pun is wordplay that uses multiple meanings of a term or similar sounding words. Here's an example. In the early 2000s, Disney Channel had a show called Kim Possible. The titular character was a high school student and action heroine who fought crime. She has multiple talents and is a straight A student. Kim Possible is a pun of the word impossible. Puns are often used for humorous purposes, to hide a joke or insult, or just showcase the writer's creativity. Jargon is the use of specific words or phrases particular to a profession or trade. In the movie My Cousin Vinny, two young men from New York are arrested for murder in rural Alabama, a crime that they did not commit. One of the man's cousins, Vinny Gambini, is a lawyer who must defend them. Just to give you some background information, Vinny passed the bar exam after 5 attempts. Yikes. In one scene, Vinny's fiancée, Mona Lisa Vito, is brought to the stand as she is an expert in cars. The prosecutor, Jim Trotter III, wants to ensure that she's a legitimate expert. And for those of you who have seen the movie, you know about Mona Lisa Vito's expertise. Anyway, Mr. Trotter says, I'd like to voir dire this fitness as to the extent of her expertise. Voir dire is an example of legal jargon. It is a type of hearing used to determine the competency of a witness. Jargon is used in literature and in movies to make a scene more realistic. Dialect is the language used by people in a specific area, class, or other group of people. In Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, Scout says, Are those the Ewells sittin' down yonder? Scout speaks in a Southern American English dialect by using words such as sittin' and yonder. Scout's dialect is different from that of Scout's black housekeeper, Calpurnia. When Calpurnia is with her friends, she speaks the black dialect and sounds more similar to her black friends than Scout. Using specific dialects in literature is to make a scene more realistic as well as emphasize social backgrounds of the characters. Colloquialism is a word or expression commonly spoken in an informal setting within a language, region, or historical era. Bless your heart is an example of a colloquialism in the Southern American English dialect that can mean a great many things. It is generally used as a sincere expression of gratitude or sympathy, though in rare cases can also be used sarcastically to soften an insult. Colloquialism is used in literature to give personality and authenticity to a character. An aphorism is a concise statement that expresses a general truth literally. A famous aphorism that you have likely heard of is, All that glitters is not gold. This phrase, originally coming from William Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, means that not everything superficially attractive is valuable. Aphorisms are used to express truth in a short, memorable way and are sometimes humorous. A proverb is a short saying expressed metaphorically as opposed to aphorisms, which are to be taken literally. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar is an example of a proverb. It means that you can win friends and influence people if you are nice to them instead of being mean. Honey metaphorically represents being nice, and vinegar is being mean. Proverbs are used to teach something to the audience in an approachable way. An idiom is a phrase that has a different meaning than individual words lead you to believe. They are often confused with proverbs, but there are a couple of differences between the two. Proverbs are common sense, based on practical experience and often factual or didactic, that is intended to teach the listener, whereas idioms are phrases whose meaning cannot be predicted just by knowing the meanings of the individual words. Kill two birds with one stone is a popular idiom. If we were to come up with the meaning just using the individual words, it sounds like we're killing multiple birds with a stone. That sounds so cruel. This phrase actually means that completing a single action will enable you to accomplish two goals. The purpose of this phrase is neither factual nor didactic, thus, it is not a proverb. Idioms are used to add a little flavor to a piece of writing. A euphemism is a word or expression used in place of one deemed unpleasant or offensive. In Marka Zuzak's The Book Thief, a novel narrated by Death, yeah, I know, pretty cool, Death says about Rudy, "I'm certain he would have loved to see the frightening rubble and the swelling of the sky on the night he passed away." Passed away is a euphemism for he died, since death is a touchy subject which could upset the listener. Euphemisms can be used to add variety to one's writing and can be used in several different contexts, including to comfort the reader or to disguise a concept. A rhetorical question is a question asked for dramatic effect, rather than to receive an answer. In one of my favorite movies, The Sound of Music, there's a song which the nuns sing about the main character, Maria. How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down? How do you find a word that means Maria? The song is full of rhetorical questions, which are not meant to be answered, but rather stated to express the nun's exasperation with Maria. Rhetorical questions are usually used to speak directly to the reader. Oxymoron is when contradictory terms appear in conjunction. In R.L. Stine's Night of the Living Dummy in his Goosebumps series, there's a line, "Hey, you're pretty ugly." It is one of my favorite oxymorons ever, and I may have used it more times than I care to admit. Pretty ugly means quite ugly and is an insult. Oxymorons can be used for humorous or dramatic effect, or to emphasize a conflict. Paradox is a logically self-contradictory or seemingly senseless statement. In William Wordsworth's poem, My Heart Leaps Up, there's a line, "The child is father of the man." Upon first reading the poem, the line seems somewhat impossible, a paradox. Man can only be the father of child. It is not possible biologically for it to be the other way around. Yet, after spending some time rereading and analyzing the line of the poem, or just Googling what it means, one realizes that the line in fact means that man is the product of the experiences he had as a child. Paradoxes are used to grab the reader's attention and get them to think. Congratulations! This is all for part 4. We learned about pun, jargon, dialect, colloquialism, aphorism, proverb, idiom, euphemism, rhetorical question, oxymoron, and paradox. Can you try to come up with your own examples for each of these figures of speech? You know there's a lot more figures of speech we didn't cover in our 4-part series, but these were some of the most commonly used ones. The best way to internalize these figures of speech is reading poems, plays, novels, speeches, ads, and whatever else you can get your hands on, and trying to identify what figures of speech are used. And it doesn't hurt to use these figures of speech in your own writing, so you sound more sophisticated. Good luck!